Okay, gonna see if I can get 3 more dolls in, and I'm going to start with the weirdest one of this 3. This is, I can't remember if it was Fairytopia, but it's a Barbie Thumbelina head on a Disney VIP body that one of the local doll people thrifted just for the clothes. And I took the body, even though the body was missing one of the lower arms, because they came out really easily, and this head is just so ridiculous. And I dremeled out the neck opening a little bit to put onto this body, and she needed arms, and I was digging through my arm box hoping to find something that I could like use to match the original VIP arm, even though they didn't have articulated wrists. And then I found these. I think these are Monster High arms that Foxcentric sent a while ago in just a big batch of arms and hands and things. And I had to drill out the VIP arms a little bit to get these to fit, but here they are. And now let's dress this very strange doll. I am really tempted to see, I never finished brushing her hair all the way. For some reason, I think this doll would look a lot of fun wearing a face mask. But that's just because the bottom of her face is so tiny that you could cover that with a mask and still the face would be mostly eyeballs. And there's lint in there. Like I said, there's lint. But as you can hear by the sound of this, I did not actually brush her hair out all the way, so I'm not going to do that completely now. I'm just acknowledging that her hair is a little fluffy still. So I think this is going to wear Blythe size stuff, but I'm not sure. I know I have another doll on Disney VIP body, but I can't remember what the doll is wearing. And I don't know if I want to go full on just weird with this doll. I don't think this will work. Super duper ultra pink. I don't know if I have anything that's super duper ultra pink in this scale. See, this is going to be too big, because this is, like I said, this is more of a lib size bodice. I could fit the Francie body. I think it's going to be too big for Blythe. I'm only guessing that VIP is Blythe because I cannot remember how I dressed the other doll. I got 3 VIP bodies from the person. Yeah, that's too big. One is still in the body box. One has a skipper head on it. I know I've redressed it somewhat recently, but I cannot remember how I dressed it. I know this is going to be kind of odd looking, whatever I dress it in, because of the gloves. I don't know if I should play up with the formality of that or ignore it and just make it weird. I don't seem to have a whole lot of pink in this size, or if I do, I guess the dolls are wearing it already. I have this, that heady scent, which could be fun, but I feel like this doll might not be quite that formal. I say as I'm digging around with no idea what she'll actually wear. Speaking of Patty, well, they're made. Where is... I'm just thinking of this because it has pink and blue in it, like the clothes. Yeah, and this is another body with shoes that I have no real clue what she'll wear. this scruffy hair might be bothering me too much. I mean, if I do take the time to brush the hair out, I will edit that. Unless it goes fast. One thing about using this kind of brush is you get audio feedback on how smooth the hair is, because when it's not smooth, you hear it getting stuck in all the knots. Once it is smooth, once it is smooth, the audio feedback says, hey, no more knots to get caught on. I don't have the really good smoothing stuff like Tiffy has. Tiffy has a variable heat hair straightener that can go to a really low heat so that there's no danger of melting doll hair. Me, I'm really just lucky to get the knots out of it. Yeah, this is what you signed on for, right? Watching me brush doll hair. Okay, that sounds a lot better than it did. Alright, that's good, alright. Even if it's still fluffy and not great looking, it's just, I know that the is gone. So, anyway, yeah. I don't know if you know who Chrissy Chlepeka is. That's who this really reminds me of, and I know I don't have the appropriate clothing to dress her like that. If you don't know who Chrissy Chlepeka is, I think you just kind of organically need to learn who Chrissy is. I don't know if the Bratzy clothes will fit. If they do, it will be perfect for this doll. Oh yeah, okay. It's a little tight, but yeah. Alright, so that opens up. I would probably go with this dress just because it is ridiculous. Although I can see how asymmetrical it is now that it's on a doll, but we can't have everything. Let's see, I'm not quite sure what I'm looking for in here. Oh, maybe just the general idea of other brat stuff. I could try this on her, I guess. It's not quite the same pink as this sleeves, I almost said, as the gloves. And see, we're going to discover my issue with this is that the seam allowances are super duper shredded. So will this work? And this is a doll I would be absolutely okay with wearing high heels. I'm just not sure what I have that will actually fit the feet on this body. Because I never had the VIP shoes. I would actually like to put her in a full pair of tights or hose. The legs are somewhat Barbie-like, maybe somewhat too Barbie bubblegum. I do have tights I made years ago from Momoko. I just don't know if they're still in here or if I squeeze them onto somebody else at some point. This still might be larger than Momoko. Oh, perfect. Look at that. Which might again be ruining shoe potential, but let's get this tighter. Get the okay, it's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Get the stripes somewhat lined up. Alright. Shoes. So these are going to get a little bit bigger than Barbie feet, but not as big as Monster High feet. I just don't know if the extra size can be hidden in a Monster High shoe. Yeah, it can. Alright. Like I said, the ankles didn't really fit too tightly around this body, so there's some weird sticky outy fabric going on in the back of the shoe, but you're not really going to see that too much. Okay, this is a ridiculous doll, but that's fine in this case. And this is a joke doll. I don't know if I'm going to even keep this head on this body or those arms. Of course I can give her blue to match her eyes. The open toe pump over tights is always a look. Okay, do I want to... Where is the purple fuzzy? Can be fun too. Yes, pink, 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 purple fuzzy. Thinking this is a shortcut for just like a fake fur type of coat. It's a knit. Fuzzy, fuzzy yarn. Let's see, it would have her little pink gloved hands sticking out. Just don't fit perfectly. Like I said, I really need to get a metric drill set instead of the standard drill set I have, and hope I can get things about the right size for all the metric doll bits. This is something else James sent. It's pretty obviously, it's not super high quality, but it sure is fun. I did finish the edges of the collar myself. And yes, I know the hands come off. I'm trying to avoid that, but I don't think I can. Just way too big for this body. Plus, the hooky part of the Velcro is on the side where it's more likely to grab the fabric underneath. So when I sew, I always put the hook part of hook and loop tape on the bottom so it's facing up. Let's see, can I get this out of there without destroying the stitching? Don't think so. Can't tell if it was stitched as one when the thing was made or if it was stitched on afterwards. I think it was stitched as one when it was made. Because this would be more fun if it did not have to deal with the hook and loop tape. I'll fix that at some point, maybe. How did that get done? Alright, where did the... I'm getting playing fast and loose with my protective sock. We go for black. And then this doll ends up wearing Monster High shoes, tights I made from Momoko, a Bratz dress, a Barbie cardigan, if I end up going with this cardigan. I don't know if it will or not. I don't know if I should keep her pastel. Because the cardigan is also going to be a little wide. Ready to go? Hook. Okay. Got hooked on the trim on the skirt. Okay. I did have this thought. A Creative World camouflage jacket. Which is a kind of fun with that other stuff. Alright. Okay. One more thing, if I can find it. Was that in here? Or is that in the jacket bag? Again, that's black. I don't know if I want to introduce black. I made this for Blythe. And I could put it on her and it would fit. Maybe not now. Maybe I will stick with this simple fun party look. I'm really not sure about the hair. I mean, I do like the hair because it has pink streaks in it. But you know, overall, I'm pretty meh on blonde dolls. And there's a lot of breaks in this hair. So there's a lot of little flyaways. I didn't care it was too against my initial inclination for smooth, tanned hair. Make it fluffy. Let's see, I don't know if a tiara, how many little silver tiaras do I have? Okay, that's pretty big. That's even too big for this head. Like I said, Mandarake, there's a pack of like 4 Rika crowns, tiaras, not crowns, tiaras, with matching earrings and necklaces and scepters and purses. And I am not currently inclined to make an order from Mandarake, however you say it. And 1,500 yen might be a little steep for something silly like that, but it is tempting every time I see it. Yeah, I don't think any of these are going to work. I hear you, Chip, because they're all too long compared to her little tiny skinny neck. Alright, I'm going to go with this. And I'm going to see if Chip actually wants in. Hi, Chip! Meow. See, Chippies? Hi, Chippies. I think Chippies wants me to sit down so he can give me lovies. Or you could see him go back out the door. What do you think, Chip? Chippies? Hi, buddy. I'm not going to sit on the floor. Keep me company. Okay, next doll. This is a Takara Jenny, regular Jenny head, on a Barbie, like, 3rd style fashionista's body. The first articulated fashionistas' bodies had the gymnast style legs with high heel feet, and then and they had the underbust articulation. The second wave of fashionistas, articulated fashionistas' bodies had all new legs, these legs, and the underbust articulation, and then the last waves of them had these legs, but the standard belly button torso. So, that's what this is. The first wave of them also had since they were gymnast legs, they were strung, so things have changed. Yes, I know, the idea of articulated fashionistas is just so lovely to think about, isn't it? I do like these bodies. I just think the articulation, of course, is not as good as Made to Move, but they're just a little nicer looking. And I put this Jenny head on one because, the skin tone match is not great, but it's not horrible. So she's got a regular old Barbie body with regular Barbie feet. She should, in theory, be easier to dress. But how do I want to dress her? Do I want to dress her super casual? Or a little more for my fancy dresses? Or a little more party style? Don't dress her sweet. Don't want to dress her did not put any thought into how I was going to dress this doll. I mean, I don't put much thought into how I'm going to dress some of these dolls, but some of these seem to have a style to them. Like the Happy Family / Sunshine Family Francie hybrid. I know I wanted her to be dressed a little more sweet, but I'm not sure about most of these dolls. Look at Chip. I mean, with Jenny, first thing you think is, well, Jenny, you need to dress a Jenny doll sweet, because Takara Jenny dolls are dressed sweet, but they're not all dressed sweet. Some of them are even called things like street style Jenny. Stuff like that. I know I made this dress for a vintage style body, so I don't know if it would fit this body well. I mean, this dress pattern in general was created with vintage style bodies in mind. But, you know, it works well enough. If I want to do something, I wouldn't say sweet, but sweetly brown. I don't know if this is really springtime. Husband and I were talking about creativity earlier, and he's like me. He prefers feather. He prefers to work from the material at hand instead of getting an idea and then doing what you can to make that idea reality. I just think it's more of a fun puzzle to figure out how to make something interesting from what you've been given. But I know not everyone thinks like that. A lot of people would rather create an idea fully in their mind and then do what they need to do to bring that idea to reality. Everyone works differently. This is something I have on dolls a lot, so I need to resist putting that on somebody else. This is really more of a tunic. I don't know why I have it in the dresses. In the dresses bag. Should really be in a short sleeve shirt bag, which this is not. Yes, this is. I went through a few iterations of shirts like this, trying to make something kind of like that Barbie that a lot of us have now seen images on Instagram. The Barbie has multicolor hair, not rainbow hair. It's not organized like rainbow, it's more chaotic, with like a side cut with disappearing leopard print and this leopard print rainbow gradient skirt and this silver sparkly shirt that inspired me to try to sew some things like it, kind of. So I ended up with variations on things like this in the process of making that. And I don't know if I want this doll to wear it, but I'm just putting it on her because it strikes me as amusing. course, there's this shirt I made with that last round of sewing that I never did put on anyone. I think there's enough room that I could tuck the shirt in, but I don't want to. Maybe a little more Rika style than Jenny style, but let's see, what else might our options be? Edit that. My ears itch, my ears itch, my ears itch, my ears itch. Let's see, or I could go with this, which is something that Musical Meows and Kenny Lemons made. I don't know if it's supposed to be an apron or a wrap dress. Or, ooh. Of course, this is the older version of my doll pencil skirt pattern, so it will fit this older body. Unlike the newer pattern I released relatively recently, that has been resized for the current types of Barbie bodies. And that is ridiculous. I think I'll probably go with that. So I'll leave her hair down. Do something. Again, this hair has obviously been broken a lot throughout its life. It has a lot of frizzies. I did use the mini iron and washcloth trick to get her bangs reset. They'd been starting to separate in the center. Since they're not thatched, they're just that thing where the part is pulled forward and cut into bangs. Which I understand that's probably a lot easier to make as far as cost goes, but I prefer thatched bangs. To just catch that out of a ponytail, maybe. I'm not good with ponytails, I know I've mentioned this before. In my own hair and Doll's hairs, wherever it always ends up lumpy. I mean, I used to French braid my waist length, beyond waist length hair every day in college, but a ponytail? No, couldn't handle a ponytail. Alright, she has earring holes, and she wants some shoes. Double whammy, give her a headband too. It does not fit on her head. It's a Barbie headband. Of course, it probably didn't fit on Barbie's head either. Oh yeah, Jenny earring holes don't go all the way in. I mean, that's easy enough to fix. I have many pointy things at my disposal. That's more the sweet fantasy style I associate with the Japanese fashion dolls. Give her the girl boss earrings from that. Or girl power earrings. That Barbie extra doll. not sure what earrings I'm looking for right now. I don't think it's anything that matches, and here's the match for what's in my hand. So. Alright, so where's my awl? Or actually, I don't think I even need the awl. I think a really heavy needle will work. Maybe. Maybe not. Put it on that side. Okay, there we go. Alright, she needs shoes, which should be easy. We have a lot of options. We can do silvers or grays or browns. Not that I have that many silver or gray or brown doll shoes, but they're options. And there's actually purple in this cat print. I think I'll limit it to the, maybe I'll do these brown shoes. I don't want to do gold. Actually, that heel is the wrong angle. So I think those go with the curly heels. I think I'm going to go with the chunky browns if I don't go with... I mean, I could go with black too, obviously. And yes, the child. Yeah, those are too full. So we'll go with the chunkies. Do I want to change her pink ring to something else? I'm sure watching me dig around in that one compartment that has the earrings and rings in it is extra fun. Especially when I'm looking for the rings, it means I have to go all the way to the bottom. But there's a silver one right there. So if I can do this without dropping and losing things, which is a big if, hopefully the diameter is correct. Sometimes you go to put rings in Barbie fingers and you find that the ring you've picked out is smaller than the one that was in there before. Oh, this was originally... This might have been an earring, I can't tell. The end is broken off. Ow. Nope, that fits, but do I really want to put that? No, it's actually loose. You know I'm horrible. If I don't absolutely love a doll, I don't want to give the doll the good things. And that was a star-shaped ring or earring stud. But once I got it into the hand, it was loose. Alright, ow. There's that's going in. There, okay, snapped in place. Ow, hurt my fingers. So here's Jenny, Barbie hybrid, in a ridiculous cat outfit. Hello, Chip. Excuse me, Chip. Okay, so now 20 minutes later, it's time for the last doll. And this is the body I've been talking about with the gymnast Barbie feet that I have edited to be a little smaller, possibly a little more graceful, except they're still not as small as curvy and tall feet. I also heat reshaped the hands. And I do this. I have an electric stove. I don't know if this will work on a gas stove. I've never lived anywhere with a gas stove, and frankly I don't want to. But on an electric stove you just turn, this is also the electric cooktop with the ceramic glass top over the top, so you can't have direct contact with the burners. Just turn it real hot, let them get hot, hold the hands over it for a moment, the plastic will get soft enough that you can bend it, and then dunk it in some ice water and it sets. And this is that modern fashionista head with the really nice face paint on the Teresa body from the 1990s. Oh, I meant to look up what she's called, like Perfectly Pink or something like that. It was the series of Barbie, Teresa, Teen Skipper, and I think Christy, who were all wearing outfits that had like fake corduroy. I mean, it was presented as real corduroy, but technically it wasn't corduroy. Corduroy in pastel colors with some argyle print on their shirt, and they all had these painted fingernails and thumb rings painted on. So yeah, let's see if I can find clothes for her with her weird gymnast Barbie body. The bust is not quite as big as the original Barbie body. By original, I mean the actual original, not the one that's out now that's called original. That's not the original body. The waist is smaller, and of course the feet are flatter. So this is the doll that I grabbed those curvy sandals and tried them on the body, and it just didn't quite fit still. So I'm not sure what kind of approach to take as far as getting clothes under this body goes. Oh, Chip. Hold on, bud. Just that boy. Alright, so. And she has the burgundy lips, neutral to non-existent eyeshadow. Yeah, I guess there's some shiny eyeshadow, but it's very neutral otherwise. But this body has pale pink nail polish. So again, I should learn to ignore the colors on the doll and just do whatever strikes my fancy for the clothes. But we'll see if I can bring myself to do that. I know I put that on dolls all the time, but it would work with her. This dark color of the print is really close to her lipstick. I haven't put any doll in oh yeah, I did put that Jenny in separates. But generally I've been doing dresses this time, which is, I'd gotten to where I was doing a lot of separates on dolls. Instead of dresses. I mean, it's fun to make a whole bunch of doll clothes and see who can wear it. But then I just end up with more and more and more clothes in this storage that I really need to use. I'll probably go through the stored doll clothes at some point and do a little bit of a purge. Maybe, maybe not. Some of these doll storage bags are stuffed pretty full. Pretty full. Let's see, now do I want to, so none of those dresses seem to play. Do I want to give her a fancier dress with the risk of being completely unable to find appropriate shoes? Or do I want to give her more casual stuff? Again, not very spring-like, but you know, we all love Halloween around here, don't we? Okay, super duper spring-like. Can we find a medium point? Probably not. That Lolita style dress. Oh, that works nicely with her lipstick. Nail polish. Not at all in scale, but sometimes it's fun. That's one of my flaws. I think I can get away with it a little better for Blythe, but sometimes it is just a lot of fun to make a doll outfit from a print that's not anywhere near in scale. Just embrace that the doll is a tiny thing. Don't try to be realistic. Sometimes. Let's see. I've grabbed so many things. That would work. So you can even see that that would work with kind of a lipstick and with a nail polish. That's maybe. Attempted Lolita again. Speaking of attempted Lolita, this was made for a Moxie Teens size body. No, not Moxie Teens. Was it Moxie Teens? This was made for a larger size body. That actually, maybe it was Monster High large, because it was actually ended up being about the right size to fit a vintage style Barbie body. So I incorporated it back into my Barbie size stuff on the off chance I'll find a doll to wear it at some point. Let's see, get this back in there. I'm kind of tempted to this blueberry dress a little more than the roses. Or I want to just try this on and be completely ridiculous. Although the thing with this is there's no way I'll have appropriate shoes. Make sure this is a little flatter when I put it back in. Right, maybe I could do this. Oh, I also did the thing on this body that I do a lot. It's a little more important or helpful to do on when they put the gymnast arms on a belly button body, is you carve out a little bit under the arms so that the arm can lay flatter against the body. Again, when they put these gymnast arms on the belly button style body, the arms tend to not come anywhere near the body until you carve that out with fun Dremel time. Like I said, I know this doll is just a relatively modern fashionistas from the last few years with the NASA, Bambi, Nutrisa sculpt, whatever you want to call it. But as I'd mentioned, a lot of us think that this sculpt harkens back to Superstar Barbie quite a bit, and with her relatively simple face paint, it really does remind me of a 90s head sculpt. I'm tempted to leave this on her because it fits her so well, even though it was made for the belly button body that the older articulated fashionistas had. But it really does fit this gymnast style body very nicely. Alright, do I want to style her hair in any way? I have this brushed out. You can still hear it's a little rough. And there's extra cat hairs and weird fibers on it. Just a clip back there. Sometimes I'm really in a mood to do lots of wild things with Barbie's hair, or doll hair in general. Most of the time, not so much. Or I do what I'm doing now, and I get halfway into a style, and then I have to let go of it to get elastic, and then it falls apart. I never quite reproduced what I had done with it. I have no idea what shoes this doll's going to wear with her no longer dead flat gymnast feet that still aren't carved quite down as small as a modern doll's foot. I mean, I don't know, it might honestly be possible to carve a high-heeled Barbie foot out of the bottom of a flat-foot gymnast Barbie body. I have not been brave enough to, or patient enough to try that. So the amount of carving I did on this doll's feet did make it a lot smaller, but not small enough. I could have carved more, but it was no fun anymore. Also, I was trying to do it on a school day, which part of being the learning coach for my virtual school student is that I need to be home and available to help most of the time. So basically, really, he's a fairly responsible kid, good student. My job mostly just is I set the timer on my computer for when each class starts, and I told you I'm terrible at ponytails. And then when the timer goes off, I tell him it's time for the next block, and he says, no, and goes to the block. So basically, I just needed to make sure that I was not dremeling all day. I had to just Dremel a little bit at a time, come up here, make sure he was getting to his class on time. But like I said earlier, I have a problem with wanting to do everything all at once without taking breaks. So again, the fact that I had to take breaks as mandated by being there for my child for school even though they didn't mention kind of offhand in one of the orientations for parents going back to school. The reorientation that they made it sound like was mandatory, but then when so many people showed up that no more people fit in the Zoom meeting, they were surprised that so many people were interested enough to show up. It's like, no, you made the email description sound like this meeting was mandatory for all parents of virtual learning students. We are here because we thought you told us we had to be. But I did get to see people's cats in the Zoom meeting with them as well. Anyway, so that forced me to break up my drumline time into smaller chunks, which, like I said earlier, one of these videos today is something that I really need to learn to do with my time. That I don't have to do it all at once and get it finished all at once. And I mean, that's going to apply to this particular round of Dressing Dolls videos today as well. Because after I have this doll done, I'll have 4 more dolls to do. And I could do them, but I have not played Animal Crossing yet today. So I will need to stop doing doll stuff so I can play Animal Crossing, right? Although I will say, I don't need to see KK Slider because I have all of the songs. The only reason I need to watch the KK Slider concerts anymore is so I can reach that Nook Miles reward that you get for watching like 96 KK Slider. Maybe it's all 90, not 96, that's how many songs there are. Watching KK Slider concerts, but I also have like 300,000 Nook Miles, so I don't really need Nook Miles rewards anymore. Mainly the reason I am playing Animal Crossing is because I want to get the DIYs from Celeste. I have not seen Celeste for quite a while. I have seen several meteor showers. I have seen Wisp a handful of times. I have not seen Celeste anyway. I'm fairly happy with that hair. With a clip. Which might get dislodged at some point. But, okay, so I need to... shoes. And I'm going to find shoes first with this one. And then I'm going to see about worrying about hosiery. I think she could also stand to have a necklace. Do I want to keep with blue? Right now I think I'll keep with the blue since that's right there, but if I end up having to go with a really wild color of shoes, I might go back and do the thing with the accessories where I have the 3 pops of color throughout the outfit. So I think these are actually too big for her feet now. Yeah, they don't look good anyway. Not on a Barbie foot, they need more exaggerated kind of doll. Oh, I know what I was thinking. Do I have a petticoat that will work with this skirt? That's too long, isn't it? Because this is kind of a short skirt. Oh yeah, that's way too long. I can't remember if I said last time that I probably should create a bag for petticoats only, because they do serve a different function than skirts, although sometimes I will put the petticoats on as the skirt, but usually that's too short. That's also making a different kind of statement. mini skirt under it. No, I don't think so. Come on. I have a lot of good skirts. I've been sewing a lot of skirts lately as well. I got that pattern created and shared for a more of a pencil skirt, sheath skirt. And then I was going through my, this kind of skirt. And then I was going through my fabric and I rediscovered a bunch of charm squares that Pandora had sent me. If you know anything about quilting, you know a charm square is a 4 to 5 inch square of fabric in various prints. People can buy charm square packs to get a print range that they want without having to buy yardage of it, because some quilting fabrics can be very expensive. I haven't used all of the petticoats. Petticoats might all be being worn, actually. Anyway, so I have these a stack of charm squares that Pandora sent me, and I discovered that 2 of them are wide enough to make one of those pencil skirts. It comes up a little short. It's not as long as the pattern I shared, but it still works. So I cut a bunch out yesterday. I've been making some here and there, but I cut a bunch out yesterday. So, I mean, I might get to the point where I'm having so much fun cutting those out that I make some to sell, but I haven't decided yet. Alright, so, oh maybe, oh yeah, hey. These feet kind of fit into these shoes now. I've mentioned before, these shoes were sold in a pack of shoes meant for the gymnast Barbie body in the 90s, but they obviously were not actually made for the gymnast Barbie body because the angle of the heel was all wrong, and also when you put them on the gymnast Barbie foot unaltered, it was really stressing it. You could tell that it was a little bit, just a little bit the wrong size. So I thought maybe these were actually created for, these might have been created for Jazzy actually. I know these were, the flats also sold for gymnast Barbie bodies with the little sort of not quite fleur-de-lis on the toe. I know I had seen the doll that these shoes, these Mary Janes were created for, and it's like, aha, that's who those were created for. Those are not for gymnast Barbie. And it might have been Jazzy. Or Star. I think all the Star dolls were wearing boots, though. So I don't want to put her in these that I painted ivory. There's a little bit of wiggle room in this. I could, in theory, put some holes under it. So it's an option. It's like these were made for the gymnast, the flat foot. Technically not gymnast, technically it was Melinda and Michael and Melinda Young Sweethearts pack. But, of course, now she's looking more and more like she's ready for square dancing. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Have I been holding everything out of frame again? I still want to see Hope Against Hope. If I can even find any of the flat. This is something, these were Stacy's shoes in the 90s. I forget which one had it. Was it Stacy? No, it was Pizza Hut skipper, his friend Courtney. I always love these shoes because they're basically Doc Martens. And I used to squeeze them onto the gymnast flat foot in the 90s, but they were just a little tight. This is just a little loose now, which is nice, very nice. Like I said, I did not make these feet small enough for all the shoes, but maybe a little bit smaller for more shoes. And I mostly carved these feet down with the large Dremel drum sander. It's like this is, I was really hoping to get these on the feet, but I can't. The Dremel sanding drum. It's close though. And then I went over it with a slightly finer Dremel sanding bit, and then I went over it really quickly with some sandpaper. Well, before the sandpaper I actually did not do the sandpaper on these. I did a buffer, the buffing bit on the Dremel. And then to finish it off, I actually swiped acetone on a paper towel over it really fast, and it's still rough. It's looks like it's low poly when you look at it in the right light as far as things go. But it's not bad. None of these will fit because they're not for flatter feet. This is curvy size, but again, it's for it can squeeze on there. The angle is wrong, and like I said, I am gun shy about squeezing shoes onto feet because I've had them rip before. But if I weren't picky, it would work. Right now, this is kind of like all those clothes I was just trying on the, whichever body that was that I was trying, oh, the leggy hybrid. Just seeing what's even possible. Just trying things on randomly. These are, I think, some of the shoes I've had split from being on too tight feet. Oh hey, they do! The slit in the back's a little wide. But look, I did manage to get these flat foot gymnast feet carved down enough to fit into the gummy clear shoe pack. Curvy and tall shoes. So that's nice. So I did get them carved down enough to fit into some shoes. But they need to be kind of flat shoes. Let's see something over here. Which one of these? No, that's Barbie size, not curvy size. Yeah, I don't know if I have any of these shoes that are flat foot. I mean, technically it fits, but it's the wrong angle. So I don't think I have more flat foot, curvy size shoes. At least. I mean, I know that I do want to go try out the hosiery bottom. I want to see if these the curvy dancer shoes will fit on these feet. A little tight, but they do. I mean, I could have carved a little more to make them fit a little better. But, so now there is hope you can carve a modern sized foot out of an old flat foot gymnast foot. If you have more patience than I do, it will probably work better. too, and she is floppy, but the skin tone. This is a slightly darker skin tone than most 90s gymnast Barbie bodies. It's actually the second one of these bodies I've had from Miss Teresa. The first one, I think I might have been working on carving her feet, and her knee just shattered in my hand. So that was fun. This is not the sock I was thinking of originally. Oh, she really looks like she's ready to go square dancing now. I mean, square dance, you would need a lot of petticoats to do square dancing, and square dancing is probably a lot of fun. I've only done it in Girl Scouts and that one unit in PE that was weird. Oh, big hole in that one. Yeah, I thought I had holes in them. I wasn't originally thinking of using contrasting kind of leg covering, and I'm still not. Just we have this. I'm not sure how it will actually fit on this body. Just a basic hosey. I'm going to be going with just the green socks. Which I really should make more socks like that. A pair of socks I definitely need to make again is I made some socks out of a narrow bit of stretch lace. And they're really short, and I basically used those until they fell apart. And I still have that stretch lace. I should make it again, this time with the understanding that they won't last terribly long, but they will be very cute in the meantime. Okay. To put work into finding her a better necklace, and also I thought again about, find it, would that work? That might work. Where is that tutu? That might work too. Oh yeah, that's just visible. That's kind of cute, actually. Alright, I cannot remember what this doll originally wore. Was it a lot of blue? I don't think it was. It was Fashionistas. Originally wore pink with blue, pale pink with blue flowers, shirt and blue shorts. So I guess she has a look for blue. This bracelet I originally made for a larger doll, so sometimes you can get away with putting it on 6-scale dolls, but generally no. I feel like I want a little more contrast with the necklace, but I want it to be shorter. doll does not have earring holes. Alright, I think that's good. See if I can get all this stuff out of the way so I can actually close. Nope, let's squish it on. Like I said, probably should downsize things a little bit. Alright, so we have the Disney VIP body with Monster High arms and a Barbie Fairy Thumbelina head. And an older articulated fashionistas body with a Jenny head. And a 1990s flat-foot gymnast Barbie that has had the feet reduced in size and the hands heat-shaped to be a little more graceful with a modern fashionistas head. And what time is it? It's almost 8 o'clock. Like I said, I could do probably the last 3 dolls tonight, and then that would relieve me of worrying about whether that doll I'm repainting should be done and finished and into this group of dolls, or I can go play Animal Crossing. So I think I'm going to play Animal Crossing. Like I said, by the time I get these posted, it will be so far into the future that you'll have seen all of these dolls on Instagram, and so the whole point of these videos is so you can listen to me talk in the background, and hey, you can talk back to me sometimes too. If you are ever saying anything back to the screen about the choices I make for dolls, I would love to know if you're treating me like a bad movie to heckle. Or something like that. Alright, I'm gonna go now. Thanks. I will do the last 3 dolls tomorrow, and you'll get these all probably, probably by April. Alright, I'm going. Thanks.